every car drives different. This one really has a nice feel to it.
Geez, I wonder what kind of fuel economy it's gonna get. Who cares if it's hard on gas?
These two vehicles are a great example of the transition. From the end of the muscle car era to the beginning of the end. Can we call it that?
Yeah, it's kind of like the beginning of the end, the middle of the end, and the end of the end, right?
Can we call it that?
So this was the middle of the end. And this was fantastic, right?
Yeah.
That was the end of the end.
Right.
But still a little fun, which I'm hoping we're gonna go find out. Is that right?
Yeah, we're gonna find out today. A lot of guys are like, when you're looking at these cars, why don't you guys get out and take them for a spin?
Okay.
Well, exactly. That's not a big deal.
Real cars, real guys, and real talk. Live from the gearbox at Unique Classic Cars. Welcome to Motorhood.
But this is a 1970 Plymouth Road Runner. This is 1 year design, by the way.
Yeah.
They went from 69, changed it in 70, and then again in 71. This car was originally a 383.
Yes, it was born a 383, 440 in it now. So that's a good upgrade. We'll take that every day.
Right. Do you like the traditional, almost fastback style before they went to all the aerodynamics? To me, this is the end of the muscle car era.
Starting at 71, a lot of the cars got bubbly, right?
Yeah, right.
Not that they're ugly,
no.
Some would say, but they're just different. They're not the square, straightforward, kind of in your face as much as these are, in my opinion.
Right, I think this car preaches muscle. It's just, I mean, just the look
There's no doubt
right,
of it,
right.
yeah.
It's incredible, right? The reason these are similar, both 440 cars.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Believe it or not, this car in front of us, we're looking at a 71 Charger now. You could actually get an inline six. I know, how is that?
Are you saying that just oozes muscle, right?
Oh my God, I was like kidding you. I think it was a 225 with 149 horsepower, somewhere in there. But this is a 440 car as well. This car, the one thing that stands out to me, this is from the Motor City.
Yeah.
This is a Detroit Charger.
You're right.
And this has a 4-speed.
Yes.
With the pistol grip. Are you a fan of the pistol grip?
I like the pistol
grip. You do?
Yeah.
You like it?
I do like it.
I don't hate it. Actually getting into it, feeling it, I kind of understand that now. It's got a good feel to it. That has the automatic transmission. It's that Torque Flight. I believe it's a 727, right?
For this body style, you see it a lot where people want one because they had one. These seem to draw more people. They've never had a muscle car, but the people buying the 70 style and 68, 69, 70, you know, that they're generally similar, but a little different. You can get in that and you instantly recognize muscle car.
Yes.
A lot of people don't understand that even in 71, 2, 3, and 4, especially in Mopar, they still had some fun cars.
Right.
They just weren't the slab-sided muscle that we were used to. Well, before we go outside, I was just thinking, if you look at these cars close, they both have iconic 70s muscle car stuff done to them. Just real quick, if you go to the back of the red one here, see this down here hanging out on the bottom? That was an old trick. Those are the shackles. The guys would do that, rake right on their muscle cars back in the day. This one's got the shackles on it. Now come look at this. Look at the suspension. It's been tweaked back there, but also more so. The classic wide.
The meats.
The meats in the back. They're sticking out a little bit, narrow in the front. The only thing missing is a pack of Marlboros, man. Let's go for a ride.
That's it, Marlboros. I like it. I like it. I say we take them out for a spin, see what we think.
All right, let's do it. All right, George. You know, I was being nice when we were inside, but now I'm going to be honest with you and anybody watching. I'm not a Mopar guy.
Why not?
Listen, we all have our favorites, right? It's how we were raised, or how we brought up, or people you hang out with. So my dad, we've talked about this before, I think. My dad was a parts manager at a General Motors dealership for years and years and years. So I've got a strong GM bias, right?
Sure.
And that just kind of stuck. And in my personal collection, same thing. There is not a Mopar to be found. Now I've got friends that are Mopar guys, and you know what, that's fine. Again, we all have our favorites, right? That's fine. But if just because someone else likes them doesn't mean I have to. I think they're crude. I heard one of the guys say at one point, they said, you know, the thing with Mopars is they're all go and no whoa, meaning the brakes suck. So, because a lot of them had drum brakes, you know?
Right.
So they put all this high horsepower in some of these cars and try to get them to stop. That's another thing, you know?
Right.
But that's okay. I digress. Listen, I know everyone's got their favorites, so I just figured I'm well within my rights to say which one's mine.
It's funny, though, how you get out and you drive cars, and the more that you're around them, like yourself, decades, right?
Yep.
You're talking about that? Your opinion changes, the perception in general changes as you get to know the cars and drive them.
Right, exactly. Right. And if I'm being honest, now, you know, I put on my tough guy image. I don't like Mopars. Yeah. I mean, 20 years ago, you wouldn't have made me drive this. I can respect these cars. I love how they look. Yeah. And I'm, you know, even though I'm kind of talking shit, you know, whatever, that's what we do. Right. But yeah, I don't mind the cars. They're actually, especially the looks. I mean, they do ooze muscle. Right, right. When I was up at Mopar in the park, you see Road Runners, Challengers, Chargers. I mean, just endless numbers of them. And I think that's one of the drawbacks as far as the appeal. There's so many of them out there. Yeah. Right? Here, let's kick it down. Let's see what this 440 can do. Woo! There's a shift for you. It's got some good jump to it. Not bad. Now this particular car, I don't know if you can see it in the camera or not, this is a column shifted automatic, which is fine. You know, a lot of people prefer the console with the shifter down here, but I was having that discussion with Dylan earlier. I was like, that's the one knock on it for me. Not always, but a lot of times with the column shifter, it was probably born a bench seat car. Sure. A lot of people change them to buckets because, quite frankly, they're more comfortable. And I'm okay with the buckets in here because I have no intention to snuggling with you or nothing like that. Right. So you just stay over there and we're good, right? I can tell you, this car, I expected it to be rougher riding than it is. To be blunt. Feels pretty good going into the corners. It's got acceleration. Great jump, yeah. Yeah. Good acceleration, we'll take that. Heck yeah. I'll never forget something my grandpa said when I was looking at getting my first car, but I wanted a truck and all this stuff, and he's like, and you probably heard this too, he's like, if you gotta ask what the fuel economy is, you can't afford the vehicle you're looking at. And you know, there's a little bit of truth in that. So, you know, if you're looking at a muscle car and you're wondering, geez, I wonder what kind of fuel economy it's gonna get. Who cares if it's hard on gas? Why would you? And it's funny, if you dig in, Europeans, while Americans were building these big motors and they had all those 6 cylinders, yep, they thought we were crazy. Oh, for sure. Like, why do you need all of that, right? Well, when you drive one, I think you understand. So now we're gonna get in this other one, right? Now that one's a 4-speed. That is a 4-speed, and it has a 440 as well, and it is it's set to go. What's your prediction? You think it's gonna feel similar? Think it's gonna feel like a lot more, less? What do you think? Because we're going different body, different transmission, really a completely different car. 71 to 70 is a completely different car. To me, the manual transmission is going to change everything. Well, let's go find out. It just does. Let's find out. So, all right. So we got a pistol grip and jam some gears. So this is 71. This one just came in. I don't even know if it's on the website yet. They have it up. I think they're going to add more photos. Oh man, I love the authentic nature of the dash in this car too. Yeah, I mean, you got to like all the plastic wood. I mean, just that's, you know, freaking. This is what it looked like. That's classic. I love it. All right. All right. Well, no surprise, but I can tell you already, I like the 4-speed. So do I. That was the first thing that stood out to me because initially, as I mentioned, I was like, you know what? I like the look of that Road Runner. I always have. But I get out and I drove this car, and immediately, it's that feel. So I remember my uncles telling me there's 3 of them on my mom's side and they talk about how they drove these cars and they kind of handed them down from one brother to the next, and you know, and then they'd talk about how one brother piss pounded it this way or that, or ran it off into the ditch, or was drunk and jumped the driveway like, you know, Dukes of Hazzard style. You know, you hear all these stories. Kind of makes me want to go, you know, drive like a jackass right now. I'm not gonna, but I want to. But this car, you could actually do that. It's not even a question. clutch.
For last year, there was a 70 Torino that came in, and I looked at it initially, and I was talking to Ryan. He said, don't judge that car until you drive it. And I took it out, and much like this, after driving it, all of a sudden, it had great appeal.
Right.
You know, it's just that every car drives different. Yep. This one really, really has a nice feel to it.
In the old muscle cars like this, you know, you got a 4-speed transmission, and first, in a lot of them, the standard transmission was a 3-speed.
Right.
3-speed manual transmission. So now here, so I've got it in the 4th gear right now, and I'm doing 55 miles per hour. Now this car doesn't have a tach in it, but due to my semi-trained ear, it sounds like it's doing about 3,000 RPM, 3,200 maybe. Now with all the modern cars that we have, now you got 5 speeds and Tremec 6 speeds,
right,
and all of this stuff. You've got those extra, so you feel like now after driving a new Corvette or Camaro or Shelby, you're like, oh, you want to keep going there, but that's all there is. There's only 4 gears, not 6. These cars, and that's why a lot of guys are swapping those out. They'll take a car like this, leave it alone, leave the motor and everything else, but they'll put a Tremec 6-speed in it, and that takes these cars from doing, you know, 3,000 RPM at 55 to at 55 they'll be doing maybe 2,100 or 1,800 RPM. And not to mention your top speed now. Right. These things will fly, and without the motor screaming wide open. And then they've got overdrive.
Yeah.
So, you know, so then that helps with the fuel economy, which we talked about in the last car. Who cares if it's hard on gas?
I wondered why, when they were building them back then, why didn't they have that 5th gear?
I don't know. I mean, I don't even, you know, think about even, you know, trucks and everything back then. I mean, there weren't a lot of them that had 4 speeds was about it. Right. You know? I tell you, whoever buys this car is going to get a damn nice car. This thing handles well, feels good. The brakes aren't pulling. Speedometer works. Yep. I mean, it's, man, this is a hell of a combo. Yep, I would be willing to bet if anybody was interested in a car like this, and I will say this, if you get out, you drive it, then you'd be done. Yeah, I don't know how you could not, like right now, we're going to get out of this car here in a little bit, and after driving it, if I was a prospective buyer, nothing about how this car drives would make me go, oh, no, thanks. This is what awesome. This is what they refer to in the sales department as that car has nothing to apologize for. It's correct. Solid car. See, there goes the red car. I just kind of want to keep driving this one. I feel bad. I'm not picking on the red one. That's fine. A lot of people don't like to shift. So therefore an automatic is perfect. You get the muscle car looks and the convenience of an automatic, say, right? Yeah, I can't get over how many guys, especially the younger generation, don't want to learn to drive this. And once you do, you'll never go back. You know the other thing they call this nowadays, right? What's that? This is a millennial theft deterrent. Because none of the kids know how to drive a stick. That is the honest to God truth. That is it. So that was fun. Before we get into the cars, I can't help. I can hear through my headphones. We have Dolly Parton playing.
Well, Dolly's fun.
She's singing about something that none of my employees do here. You know what that is?
Well, working 9 to
5.
Are we rolling?
Yeah, we're rolling, man.
We are rolling. Yeah. I was like, our producer took off, and I'm like, oh, man.
He went to go turn Dolly off,
turn Dolly. We don't want to turn Dolly off.
Okay. Would you?
Yes. I'm not even kidding.
I know you're not.
I wouldn't even think twice. Would you? Let's go back minus 40 years.
All day long.
Yeah, all day.
And overnight.
It would take you all day long. it was like just to maneuver around that. Well,
the landscape, there's,
speaking of maneuvering.
So, Mopar.
Mopar. Do you really have that much of a disdain? And is it because one of your better friends is a Mopar guy?
Yeah. So, I mean, part of it is I have to give him crap all the time. Yeah. So I can't tell him or let him know, and hopefully he's not even listening to this one, that I appreciate him and that I like him.
Right.
And he may or may not have an absolutely beautiful 71 CUDA. Yeah, he's got some pretty cool stuff, and but they're Mopars, man.
But I'll say this, though. Mopar guys, you got to kind of give it to them once in a while, because I don't know if there's anybody that talks more shit than those guys.
They do talk a lot of crap. The Mopar guys or Mustang guys, who talks more crap?
I would say Mopar.
I think you're right.
I think they are.
Mustang's a close second,
I think they have the crown when it comes to shit talkers. I'm not kidding.
It's a thing. It's a cultural thing, man.
But it's fun to get out and drive them, right? It is.
Absolutely.
I have a lot of admiration, especially that Road Runner. I was like, whenever we get to the end of the 60s and we get to 1970, and I start looking at cars. I'm like, man, what happened?
Yeah.
It was the emissions and the insurance. Everything went through the roof.
Yep.
And they tried to put the brakes, no pun intended,
right,
on the muscle car era.
Yep. They detuned them, toned down the compression. By 1972, you could get yourself about 190 horsepower Olds 442. I remember, or whatever. It's like, well, sad.
You could get that Charger, like I said, with a slant 6. And what did that have? 149 horsepower or something like that?
Downhill.
That's just wrong. Whose concept was that? Right?
Exactly.
That's crazy. I'll have to admit, after driving both of those cars, that's why I wanted you to take them out for a spin, and you preach that to the guys that are selling. Get out and drive the car, because that experience can change everything.
80-90% of the cars we sell are all because people are sitting at home and they're researching online, which is great.
Right.
But you don't get that visceral physical contact with driving the car. So now if someone in Kentucky calls in after our show today, George, and he says, well, how's that? Tell me about that 71 Charger. Well, now you can tell them how it felt when it accelerated. You could tell them. So when you get to experience that, how's the acceleration? Oh my gosh, it's awesome. Was there any clutch chatter?
Right.
Nope, sure wasn't.
Right.
Yes, you can read that in a description, but when you've had that experience, people can appreciate that and respect that when they know you're basically being their eyes and ears for them because they're 1,000 miles from here.
It happens all the time. And by the way, if you're calling in, you're looking at a vehicle like that, our sales guys will go to the end of the earth. They will. You want to throw it up on a rack, get some video, get some pictures, all of that. I think nothing will give a guy an edge like actually getting out and then being able to relay that, right, to a guy that's interested in buying it. And that was the experience that we got today. I know I'm not supposed to ask this question, but I have to. And it sounded like you were with me.
Again, if those are the two choices, then I would probably today pick that 71. I would.
And it's the transmission. I like the feel of the manual transmission, and I like what you called it, the anti-theft.
Millennial anti-theft device.
Can you imagine if everything went to automatic now and we had to deal with the roundabouts that we have here in Mankato? It's insane. If there's one thing in traffic that drives me nuts, is people not learning what roundabouts are all about. Gosh. They're not a four-way stop.
Yeah.
Don't do that. The whole idea is to keep traffic flowing.
It'd be interesting to find out this statistic. If you took a poll from 1970 or 71 and you took a poll right now, percentage of males age 22 to 40 that can drive a manual transmission.
You would have to almost be at 100% back in the 70s.
Think about it, right? I mean, I get it. Not everybody grew up on a farm, or not everybody had practice, or not everybody had access, but you got to believe that had to be way more of a common thing in the 70s than it is now.
And you know what was preached to me growing up? Anytime you're looking for a vehicle, look for the manual transmission. They're more reliable and easier to work on.
Right.
Right?
Yep. Yeah, you can replace a clutch, but you start tearing apart the inside of an automatic transmission, and there's clutch discs and all that stuff. That's out of a lot of people's league really quick.
To clarify here, the automatic transmissions they have today are quite a different game when it comes. I mean, the dual clutch and all of that stuff that you see, it's incredible. You don't even feel it. Right? You don't even feel it.
Yep.
But that's the whole thing with the two cars we just drove. It's the feel of the ride.
It is.
Right?
It is.
So we don't, by the way, if you're a Mopar guy and you want to give Jeremy a hard time,
feel free. That's okay.
Go ahead and comment.
That's all right. Yeah. We're just, we're just sharing what we each think. No different than if we're standing at a car show heckling each other or heckling your buddies about what they're driving. It's the same thing here. So
it happens in here on a daily basis. It really does.
Plus, being a Cadillac lover is kind of lonely. So I mean, I gotta take my shots when I can.
I have a theory about guys who love Cadillacs, and I don't know if you solidify this. I don't know. But
boy.
Guys who drive Cadillacs are guys who want people to look at the car. Right?
No, I think we're still talking about Mopar.
No. Because it's because of the way they have great appeal and nothing rides.
Correct.
Right? Is that what the appeal is for you?
I've shared before. I got hooked on it because my grandpa had them, and then my dad had a couple, and I just always liked them. I guess I don't know really why, but now I like them because most of the time, if you go to a car show, God love them, but there's 5 million 57 Chevys at every car show you go to, and I don't care what kind of Cadillac you're driving. There's very few, if any. So that part's kind of fun to have. Have something that not everybody has.
Right.
And maybe it's because it's something that not everybody wants.
Right.
But that's kind of the fun of having something like that. Yeah.
And I can tell you this: we did a show on caddies when we were, and that did very well. So there is obviously a crowd out there that loves them, right?
Yep,
that stainless top.
Oh my
that car we have
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah. I think it's a customer's car right now.
Yeah, that may or may not be a customer who happens to also have
like
a fair amount of Mopars. I might have gotten to him.
So if you are a Mopar guy, we want to hear from you, man.
Yeah, exactly.
And we always have a great selection. And when you're in doubt,
even in a Mopar,
just go ahead and gas it.